risky it borders on reckless, but the politicians and priests who govern my life have left me no choice. My eyes flick upward, as they often do, to rest upon the mass of darkened cloud overhead. The gods have not been heard of since they fled there 1,000 years ago, leaving only one, the first of my divine line, to guide the people they left behind. Do they live there still? Do they care that their representative in this land has been pushed to such desperate measures to help her people? Eluding my guards wasn't difficult, for the simple reason that I never try. Not anymore. I am no prisoner, and they are all but ceremonial despite having been trained from birth to die fighting for me. But to come to the market flanked by 12 men and women in the grim black and gold of divine guardians would be to announce my activities to the entire temple, and the city as well. Word will undoubtedly float back to High Priest Daemon's ears, but it will take time. By then I will have secured safe passage for my journey, and can claim I only wanted to see the mooring. The house I'm looking for is distinctive, with a roof that sprouts patchwork scaffolding like spindly arms reaching toward the sky. Quenty's house is one of the fastest on all the rivers and forest seas, but when he's moored, he replaces his sails with skins and vines and reeds to dry in the sun, above the humidity of the river. Clutching my spear staff, I scan the market for the trader's base. Spellfire flickers to life above a one-room livestock hut, and in its steady blue-green glow, I spot what I'm looking for. My heart sinks as I realize there's no quick route to reach Quenty. I'll have to join the thronging masses of people. A sturdy warmth butts up against my calf, that single touch enough to give me courage. I don't need to look to know it's the Bindle cat. His familiar burbling, insistent trill floats up to my ears, and I chirp back. His wide, furry face turns up to me, and then, purring like an angry storm cloud, he butts against my leg again as I set out. Though I keep to the edges of the market, avoiding the thickest crowds, riverfolk are still busy lashing their homes to others. I pause only long enough to reach for my chatelaine and draw out a pinch of fire seed. I cup it in my palm, whispering the invocation against the powder. My breath sends a puff of it floating from my hand, each little grain beginning to glow like a nascent star as it showers to the ground. I raise my cupped hand and anoint the blade of my spear staff so that it casts its gentle light in a watery pool around my ankles. Now that I'm illuminated, my people scatter and fall back from me. All I see are bowed heads and the backs of their colorful market garb as they kneel and touch their heads to the reeds until I've passed. "Lady," they whisper respectfully. "Beautiful goddess." "Divine one. Blessed divinity." I murmur a blessing whenever I see a facelift, wishing just once that I could walk through a crowd without its many eyes following me, hungry for some sign that I am the salvation it desperately needs. Sometimes I think I see doubt there, behind the worship. Sometimes I know I do. All the living gods throughout history, my predecessors, embodied a particular aspect of the divine in answer to the needs of the land. There have been gods of poetry, gods of war, gods of the celestial heavens, and gods of green growing things. Before me, the temple was home to a goddess of healing. These aspects have always manifested themselves within the living god a year or two after their calling. They say that Sathion, who led our people during my grandparents' time, was called to the temple as a boy of 16 and manifested his aspect of farming just a week later. I have been a goddess for nearly 10 years, and still, my people are waiting to see what solace I will bring them. If I ever do. Sensing my emotion, the Bindle cat gently and carefully dips his head, opens his mouth, and bites me on the ankle. Focusing on that sharp pain, I take a breath, grateful for my one companion. I found him as a kitten in a sodden Bindle sack, wet and half drowned on the bank of the river, one afternoon a few months after I was first brought to the temple. Scrawny and pathetic as a kitten, he's a massive, muscled fire-orange beast as a grown cat. The Bindle cat gives his own blessings an echo of mine, though they sound more like curses, as he trots along beside me.